Hi and welcome to today's reading. Today's reading is a collective reading, pulling through some energies and some songs, and I'm going to use my tarot and oracle decks to further clarify this message that I am receiving. It is one of a spiritually corrupt person who is a bit of a puppet master, I want to say, manipulating the people around them. I was about to say him. Manipulating the people around them for their own gain, pulling strings for their own game. Game, I just said game. It's a game for this person. And they don't have a spiritual conscience is what I want to say. So if you're new to my channel, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. A bit about me first. I'm an intuitive tarot reader. I pick up on energy prior to a reading. It often comes through as channel messages, through songs, through general downloads and synchronicities within situations that are happening in the energy at the moment, which then aligns with messages that I am receiving. Once I get a handle on that message, as I said, I will come and use my tarot and oracle decks to further clarify, to give the message a bit more context is what I want to say. Now, there are many players in this particular message. It's something that was also coming through when I was editing a reading. I've just posted as I am doing this reading about miscommunication, about Chinese whispers. And it was coming through in the storyline of that. Because oftentimes what happens is I pull a reading based on the cards that come out, but then when I'm editing things, I get lots of secondary aha moments. And for me, that's meant to happen because it then allows me to come and do a subsequent reading, pulling in different aspects of something that I've already developed. So it's like peeling back more layers. So if you're new to my channel, welcome. If you are returning, welcome back. Did I just say that before? If this reading resonates with you, please give it a like. If you haven't already, please subscribe. Tarot readings, free tarot readings on YouTube are an energy exchange. All of the decks that I use on my channel are my own designs because I'm also an illustrator. If you call to any of those, to purchase any of those, the links to them can be found in the description box. And as I'm doing this reading, I've got all of these little, they look like little moths, little bugs flying in my garden. What is that? No, they're not. They're little seeds. They're like floating on, they look like little moths, but they're little seeds floating in on the wind. Now, as I was doing the pre-shuffle for this reading, this particular card came out. That's number 28. I'm not going to try and pronounce it. Siahia, health and longevity. That angel is from my angel oracle deck. That angel aligns with the 6 of Wands, which is victory after a long battle. It's also Jupiter in Leo. The messages that I'm pulling through have a biblical context. At the moment, for some reason, I'm pulling in lots and lots of biblical messages. Doesn't mean I'm going to ram religion down your throat, but it is obviously a way that my guides help me align with the messages that are coming through, give more context to them. I was hearing Jacob's ladder. So Jacob in the Bible had a dream, and he was seeing angels go up and down this ladder to and from heaven. Some sort of journey that you've been on. I was also hearing the parable of the sower. And I've got a little biblical book because I was getting so many biblical messages. I wanted to be able to attach the channel message that I got with a tarot card that aligned with that message. So if that card came out, it could give me more context in terms of the message that was coming through. The power of the sower aligns with, well, divine timing really, but it is the 7 of Pentacles, which is Saturn in Taurus. It's about patience, investment, assessment, diligence, and a long-term view. So as I said, these seeds were flying across as I started the reading. And you know the seeds I mean, they're like, they're almost like a little wafer, maybe the size of your fingernail. And then they've kind of got a wispy edge on them, which is, I guess, what allows them to be distributed. So some have fallen in my pool, some have fallen on the pavers around my pool, some have fallen in the garden. Some have kind of been blown into the hedge around the outside of my garden. And apologies, my things happen for a reason in readings. My dog's just thrown up. We gave him some strawberries, which he eats every day, and he's just thrown up. Now, strawberries are covered in seeds. Lie down. And he's fine. He's just lying on the floor. He's a bit of a guts. I think he probably just ate too fast. Jupiter in Leo. Victory after a long battle. Now, let's get back to the messages that I was getting. So I was hearing the song Wicked Game, Chris Isaak, and not the whole song, just the line, what a wicked game you play. This puppeteer, puppet master. And as I said, I was editing a video this morning where Jacob and Rachel had been coming through. Now, Jacob and Rachel is a story in the Bible, and it comes through in so many readings. And this number 7 comes through in so many readings that it's got to be relevant for more than just me, because it just keeps repeating over and over and over. I got the 7 of Pentacles, which is the 7 of grains. Again, another 7. I was picking up the energy of Jacob's ladder, which is what I was editing, part of the video that I was editing this morning. If you know the story of Jacob and Rachel, Jacob was one of 2 brothers. His brother was promised everything, and in an attempt to get something from his father, when his father was on his deathbed, Jacob pretended to be his brother so that he could get the inheritance. And he was found out and he had to leave. He was taken in by a man called Laban, and I think that's how you pronounce it. And in the process of that, Jacob fell in love with, Laban had 2 daughters. Jacob fell in love with Rachel, one of the daughters, asked for her hand in marriage. It was agreed upon that he worked 7 years, that number 7, to marry her. Now, at the time, Jacob was 77. He worked that 7 years, and on the day of the wedding, Laban, her father, because he had 2 daughters that needed to be married, switched the girls and married Leah, Rachel's sister, to Jacob. Jacob then had to work another 7 years in order to marry Rachel. So 14 years in total. And what was coming through when I was editing that reading this morning was Jacob wasn't the only person that was deceived in that scenario. Laban being the puppet master. So I'm picking up the energy of a puppet master. Some sort of puppet master in a scenario that potentially you've been in, where somebody's taken advantage. Laban obviously saw an opportunity to take advantage of Jacob. And I want to say play on, if you think about, Jacob's brother was set to be given everything and Jacob was not getting anything. So he was feeling left out and tapped into some sort of devil energy in order to try and deceive his father, which then rolled him over into the play where he was deceived by somebody else. So 14 years, at the age of 77, 14 years he worked, finally got to marry Rachel. Poor old Leah ended up in a relationship with a man who was actually in love with her sister because of a deception by her father. So not only did Jacob get thrown under the bus, but Leah got thrown under the bus as well. And what I want to say here is that within the scenario of his father, Jacob was played off against his brother. But the same things happened here. The girl's father has played the pair of them off against each other. There's some sort of game being on, or that's been gone on. This energy, some sort of game where you've been played off. Now, you can be in the scenario. You could be, I doubt that you're Laban and coming to a tarot reading, but because he was spiritually corrupt. But you could be in the energy of Leah, you could be in the energy of Rachel, or you could be in the energy of Jacob. There's multiple players here. And that 7 number coming through. And 7 is a highly spiritual number, which means that if this energy is something that you are experiencing, the connection, the soul contracts between the people in this dynamic in this game. I want to say game of chess. It's a highly significant set of spiritual lessons that you are meant to learn within it. That is long lasting because Jacob's character appears in Genesis in the Bible, which is the first book of the Bible. And Jacob's children end up, he has 12 children in total, he has 12 sons, end up being the 12 tribes of Israel. And Jacob, his name is actually changed to Israel. And again, this is not a biblical reading, but it's giving context as to whatever's happening in your life has a flow-on effect from the beginning, and actually Genesis 1:1, in the beginning and the end, the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end. It's got to flow through. Something within it has been affected by previous generations, will be affected by generations to come. This is big energy. Is that not a Lotto song? She's got a 777 song actually. Big energy. I'm going to write that down. I'm going to put that in there as well. There might be messages, and hopefully big energy doesn't mean what I think it means, because we don't need a reading going down that track. But I'm just looking at my notes here. You can see that is the ancient Hebrew sign. Well, it's the beginning and the end. That was actually the tracking of the most recent 3 solar eclipses that have gone across America over 7 years. They made this big sideways A, which in Hebrew is the beginning and the end, but it is the ancient way of writing El, which is God. When you think about the number 7 days of the week, 7 ancient wonders of the world, 7 deadly sins, 7 core religions, 7 colors of the rainbow. As I said, Jacob was 77 years old. Now, Leah had 7 children by Jacob. She had 6 sons and 1 daughter, but she had 7 children by Jacob. Rachel was barren for 14 years after she married Jacob. So Jacob worked for 14 years, and then she was barren for 14 years. And a huge bee, like this massive big bee, has just flown past. Give me a second. Bees are spiritually a symbol of God's blessings, but bees are also that hive mentality. It's almost like multiple players in this game. But it's being puppeteered by some sort of spiritually corrupt person. Now, as I said, Rachel was barren for 14 years, and then she had 2 sons, but she died in childbirth on the 2nd son. So it's interesting, the man who loved Rachel, Jacob loved Rachel, but didn't get to live his life out with her, but ended up living his life out with her sister, who he didn't love. It's really tragic. The whole story is very, very tragic. And if you read the text of Leah, she basically says, God didn't give me a husband who loved me, but he gave me 7 beautiful children. Okay, I'm going to pull some cards. I'm going to go through the songs, but I'll pull some cards. This is my Divine Messages Oracle deck. Just want to get some guidance on this reading. Follow your gut. Intuition. I think Rachel was 22 when she married Jacob. And as I said, most of the readings I've done have pulled through the energy of Jacob and Rachel, but not necessarily Leah. 22 is the number of intuition, baby steps. What else? Remain calm at this time. Patience and perseverance. Okay, now, the songs I got. Excuse me, I just sneezed. That might have relevance. The songs that I got I do a random shuffle. I get messages through music, and I do a random shuffle on a big playlist that I've got and put out the intention to be provided songs which align with the energy that I'm picking up on. So the first song that I got was Angelus. Now that's from my Gregorian chants playlist, which is essentially the monks of the Abbey of Notre Dame. Angelus is Judgment Day. It's Archangel Gabriel. Gabriel is a messenger. We did have Jacob's ladder. So messages in dreams. Follow your gut, baby steps, remain calm. If you're in this situation with some sort of puppet master, health and longevity, victory after a long battle, there is going to be a victorious outcome. But if we think about, he worked for 14 years. Some of the seeds that were planted didn't grow. She was barren for 14 years and then had 2 children, but essentially lost her life. For Leah, she had 7 beautiful children. So even though the relationship didn't grow, she had a blessing. A blessing came from something else in terms of her children. I'm getting that song, The Apple's Rotten to the Core. So if you think about a rotten apple, something that you want to grow, a rotten apple that drops down from the tree, it essentially gets pulled back into the soil. Now, you couldn't eat that apple because it's rotten, but the seeds within it, once it goes down in the earth, actually blossom into something. As I said, it's long-term. Remain calm at this time. Whatever this is, baby steps, it's taking time. It's not fast, but it is, and another seed's just flown across, but it is divine timing, and that's just one seed. So before I had about 50 that flew across. That's one. All it takes is one seed to be planted. The right seed at the right time, I want to say, to be planted in order to have something blossom. Health and longevity. Victory after a long battle. 2 and an 8 is 10. 10 converts down to a 1, and 1 is a new beginning. 2 is patience, and 8 is manifestation. Oh yeah, patience and perseverance. I forgot that was there. Okay, so the songs that I got were Angelus, which is what I said. Archangel Gabriel. Gabriel is represented by the moon. Something that's hidden. Something that's hidden behind a shiny exterior that you want to happen, but doesn't happen. But there's a hidden blessing. A secondary blessing which is actually even more fruitful than what it was that you wanted to nurture that rotted. Let me get my words right. You were taken by the shiny apple and it rotted. But what actually grows in its place will become more fruitful. Okay, I got Noah's journey from the notebook. Something that was nurtured by him that didn't end up panning out the way that he wanted, that in the end ended up coming back together. That's a beautiful movie. It doesn't have to be a love reading, but in that movie, there was obviously, there was manipulation on behalf of a parental figure. Her mother was manipulating the relationship to her own advantage, sowing seeds for her own gain. Some sort of manipulative energy around here. I got Sugar by Brockhampton. Now, I'm not really familiar with that. I've got lots of songs on my playlist. I'm just guided to add them. That might have a significance for you. I will list all these songs in the description box. Please have a look at the music videos or the lyrics. There might be more messages in them for you. I got Effing Perfect by Pink. Again, not really, I know the song, but the context of it, and been mistreated, spent a long time. Have a look at the lyrics of that song. Then I got Without Me, and this word trips me up every time, Eminem. And I went to look at the lyrics of that. Not my kind of music, but that's okay. And what came up in the feed, in my Google search, was that song was the prequel, was the sequel to the song The Real Slim Shady, this puppet master. Again, there might be more messages in those lyrics for you. Then I got All Nights, All Days, Yusuf, which is Cat Stevens. A journey, maybe all nights, 7 days. The other thing that I got, which was beautiful, because I was looking up more information about this number 7. 7 is a symbol of inner truth. It's completion and perfection in the Bible. It talks about a linear journey. And the reason that it's completion and perfection is because it's the combination of the number 4 and the number 3. So the number 4 is Emperor energy. It's material. It's the union of the physical number 4 and the spiritual number 3, which is the Empress. Empress is intuition. Also the number 22, which I did say before, something about the number 22. So let's pull some cards about the energies that are at play here. And I almost want to do, I'm going to do this Laban energy, this puppet master. Then I'm going to do Leah, and then I'm going to do Jacob, and then I'm going to do Rachel. And I'm going to look at the connection, because I have a feeling that you've been played off against multiple people, and it doesn't matter who you are. Let's have a look. I'm going to do the energy of the Chariot, number 7. That's the energy of Laban. A deceptive, manipulative character. And I want to say who swooped in and seen an opportunity. The Chariot is Cancer and the Moon. Nurturing a situation for their own gain, but it's hidden. The Moon is hidden. What else? I'm going to move this over. Just heard a Bandit. The 6 of Pentacles. That is the Moon in Taurus. We've just had the Moon in Taurus, actually. A big supermoon. It's the 1st of December today. 6, 7. You might be getting some illumination into what's actually going on. What else about this Laban character? The Knight of Wands. Now that's my words today. Wounded warrior energy. The Knight of Wands is also the Moon in Sagittarius. So we've got 3 moons here. I was watching something the other day about Sagittarius. Sagittarius in astrology is the archer. And he's shooting his arrow at the scorpion's tail. But in Japanese tradition, if you're going to shoot an arrow and you're going to hit your target, you have to be spiritually aligned in your heart. That's where they believe the movement comes from. Somebody who is a good archer has a balanced connection with their heart. And actually that's funny, because that was coming out. Balance, 6 of Pentacles. The Emperor drives the Chariot. It has to be balanced. It's 2 people. This morning when I was doing my washing, I've got my big quilt and it's really big in the machine, and the barrel's quite big. And depending on how you push it into the barrel, it can make the drum out of balance. So you have to keep going back as it's spinning and kind of readjusting it. This energy is out of balance, but spiritually out of balance, but manipulative enough to balance a deceit between the 2 sisters and Jacob. This person is a master chess player. The Moon, the Moon, the Moon. A master of deceit. The Knight of Wands, which is Mars in Sagittarius. It's darting in, darting out. It's almost like they are elusive. You can't pin them down when you try and approach them in regards to the deception that's gone on. Mind games, manipulation is what I just heard. I want to say they're a bit of a con man, because if you think about Laban, in one foul swoop, he got 14 years free labour out of a guy, pitted his own daughters against each other, but married them off at the same time. Like, all his ships came in, and he clearly had no compassion or empathy for anybody that he'd manipulated, because if he did, he wouldn't have done it. It was about the end game for him, and he threw people under the bus to get it. That's the energy I'm picking up on. Okay, let's get an energy for, let's have a look at Leah. The Knight of Swords, which is Mars in Aquarius. I'm just getting, and if you look at that card, the girl thrown into a situation that she had no control over. Swords are the mind. Whatever the situation, if this is you or somebody around you, whatever the situation is, completely out of your control. What else? The Five of Wands. Competition, jealousy, envy, Saturn and Leo. Like I said, he pitted those girls off against each other. But Jacob's father did the same. So why didn't Jacob see that deceit? Is what I want to say. Perhaps if this is you, you didn't see the deceptive nature of some sort of a parental energy around you. If you think about the Notebook, she thought her mother had her best interests at heart. Interesting. What else can we know? Ten of Wands. Heavy, heavy burdens. Saturn in Sagittarius. It's just started to rain and just reminds me of tears. Whoever this person is, because I had a look, Leah means cow. The biblical meaning of Leah is cow. And as soon as I read that, I thought cash cow. She was there to provide an opportunity for her father to get extra labor out of Jacob. And then through her connection with Jacob in their marriage, her duty was to provide children. So not only was she a cash cow, but she was literally a cow in the fact that she birthed 7 children. And it reminds me, a couple of weeks ago, I saw a video, it was horrendous, on Instagram, and it was of this dairy cow and what they do with dairy cows. And the video was of this farmer on a quad bike, and he had this little trailer with these 3 calves in the trailer, like a caged trailer. And he was driving down the road on this farm, and this cow, obviously they were her calves, was running after him because he was taking her babies away. Because they get the cows to have the babies, and then they remove the babies and keep milking the cows. She was used and abused. 10 of Wands. Whoever this person is, this puppet master has used and abused them, completely disregarded their feelings, jealousy and envy, potentially emotionally manipulated them, because she would have been jealous of the fact that Jacob loved Rachel. She would have felt like the bridesmaid, not the bride, but had no power over it. This person's got no power and no control and has been emotionally manipulated for the benefit of this puppet master. 8 of Cups, which is Saturn in Pisces. Look at the Hierophant there. The Hierophant is a soul contract that you have with the man upstairs. in regards to the relationships around you, the family that you're born into, the religion that you're born into, the cultural beliefs of the people around you. Now, in that particular time, it was normal for people to have 2 wives, and she had no say in any of it. 8 of Cups, 8 broken cups, which is Saturn in Pisces. Saturn is your spiritual teacher. What she actually learned from that was that even though she wasn't given a blessing in love, she was given a spiritual blessing in the children that she had. Let's have a look at Jacob. Do I want to use, yeah, I'm going to use this one for Jacob. The energy of Jacob, who was taken advantage of. Okay, so we've got the 9 of Wands, which is the same up here. The wounded warrior. He entered that situation with Laban. So somebody around you has picked up on the fact of a unhealed wound from your past and used it to manipulate. If you are Jacob, used it to manipulate. The Knight of Pentacles is Saturn in Capricorn. A wound. A long-standing wound that's been used to manipulate you. You can have everything your heart desires. In that context, it was Rachel. But you have to do something for me first. Saturn is the devil. Saturn on Saturn. The major arcana for Saturn is the devil. 14 years. What else? Wow. That's the Queen of Wands. Now that came out in a reading yesterday. And the High Priestess. Something that was hidden. The High Priestess is the moon. The moon, the moon, the moon. The moon. This Queen of Wands came out actually in the reading that I was editing this morning that had this reference of Chinese whispers. This miscommunication. A miscommunication between Jacob and Laban. So it could be a miscommunication within a parent-child dynamic, a miscommunication within a work dynamic. Some sort of, I want to say contract, because a contract is literally just an offer and acceptance. It doesn't have to be a piece of paper. It can be verbal. This is what I want, and this is what you are going to give to me in return for what I want. But it was hidden, a deception. The Queen of Wands, now that card came out, and it's just gone really, really overcast. That card came out because this is a staff, and on the top of it is these little almond shoots that are budding. And then on this side is a sunflower. So if we take the sunflower as this Jacob energy, now as I said, it could be you, right? This is something that you want to nurture and grow, the sun. But those leaves, I don't know why I drew them like that. Things happen for a reason. But they kind of look like they're withered. What you want to nurture and grow is withering because somebody else is nurturing and growing something through being a puppet master, a chess player. And they've done it over a long period of time because they've tapped into your wounded warrior energy. They've tapped in when Jacob arrived to Laban, he was running away from a deception with his own family. Death and rebirth. Okay, let's have a look at this Rachel energy. I'm just going to move this over so I've got enough room. Let's use this deck. A truth on the bottom, Ace of Swords. Let's have a look at Rachel's energy. Now again, this could be you. Sit yourself in this reading, and as I said to you, the Hierophant. Things that you're bound to. A soul contract that Rachel had with her father, with her sister, and with her husband. All of this is some big soul contract that you are bound into that has ramifications from before you were born and will have ramifications after you're born. There's major, major, major lessons in this. This number 7, the union of the physical number 4 and the spiritual number 3. And as I said to you, as I was editing that reading, it was the first time I actually stopped and went, hang on a minute, what about Leah? Because she was thrown under the bus as well. The King of Cups, which is Neptune in Pisces, and the Strength card, which is Leo energy. The King of Cups holds a full cup of love, but doesn't always give it. So what lessons in being held back from something that you want? That's an ambulance. 911. In being held back from something that you want, what lessons do you learn? Strength. You learn the power of the people around you, the power of the soul contracts that you have, and I guess the lack of power that you have to overpower these people. The Strength card is Leo and Sun energy. The Sun, now that's God in this instance, in that card. The Sun is sometimes depicted as, well, in the original tarot, it's a child on a horse, and she was barren. You can hear that lawnmower, somebody's mowing their grass. Could even be this Laban energy manipulating this puppeteer energy, pitting these two sisters up against each other. So pitting you up against somebody else in order to take away something that was meant for you. But they've done it for their own advantage. Yeah, look at that. We've got the Devil on the bottom. Okay, I don't know where I want to go with this. Now it's really raining. Breaking generational curses. Let's get a guidance card for this energy. Family, friends, and children. What else? And be confident. This energy here is about something that has brought you, I want to say, seeds that you've planted in this energy here because of a deceptive energy around you and how they've played you within a dynamic of other people, and you haven't gotten the shiny apple that you wanted, because that was the 8 of Cups here. There's a spiritual lesson and something that you may not realize has been planted. For example, for Leah, it was the fact that she then had these 7 children, which were of more value to her than what she thought was of value, which was a connection with Jacob. I just heard it's a means to an end. It's not necessarily the route that you thought you would take in order to get a spiritual blessing, because that rotten apple that's fallen from the tree actually has seeds within it that are then planted. Okay, some messages here. Perfect match. And spiritually rich and sound. I just see that 7-7. That repeating. He was 77, he worked for 7 years and then for another 7. And in the Bible, it talks about Jacob's troubles the whole way through. I mean, he was the patriarch of the Bible. So the fact that he didn't actually find love until the age of 77, it was when he became spiritually rich and sound, and it was through all of those lessons that he learned along the way. Whoever this puppeteer person is in your life, And maybe this some sort of puppeteer character has manifested in different people in your life. It's not necessarily one specific person, but it's a set of lessons that is then repeated over and over and over and over again, breaking generational curses. He had that lesson, that same lesson about being pitted off against somebody, that lesson that he learned from his father. I don't know why I'm pointing up here. Health and longevity. Being pitted off against his brother. Did I say father? Pitted off against his brother by his father. And he chose deception in that scenario to try and take his brother's wealth. And so then that devil character then appeared again within the realms of a connection. It's all intertwined. It's like a big game of chess. Perfect match. The things that he needed to work on were a perfect match for the deceptive energy of Laban, or this, whoever this puppet master is. Because if you've walked in, magnetically you are drawn to people who are designed, are put in your life, put in your path in order for you to work through and break a generational curse. So it's not that they're the most horrible person in the world, because in some context, they're there to help you grow and evolve, spiritually rich and sound. But it's a long journey. And we did have the Knight of Pentacles, a long journey. Let's have a look at this Rachel energy. I can't. Cards are funny. She was the third party. She was the third wheel. Wow. I don't know whether I said it in the beginning, but it reminds me of, this whole scenario reminds me of Prince Charles and Princess Diana and Camilla. Rachel, 2 children, passes away. Princess Diana was married to Charles for 14, 15 years. Leah, the other woman. It's just, there's so many parallels. Art imitating life, really. And this might be the dynamics of a relationship that you're in. This could be a platonic thing. It could be a work thing. It could be people pitted off against each other at work. It could be a parent pitting children off against each other. It could have something to do with a will, something that's been promised to you as part of somebody executing a will, but there's been some sort of miscommunication or deception here. There's a puppet master at play though, who's pulling all the strings. And if you look at that devil card, and underneath we've got the 8 of Swords. 8 of Swords is Jupiter and Gemini, which is a current placement at the moment. It's being trapped in whatever this puppet master's game is. The devil. Have a look. He's just got eyes, he's got no mouth. I don't know why I drew it like that. The moon in Taurus. The Chariot is the moon. And the 9 of Wands is the moon in Sagittarius. It's hidden. It's hidden because it's part of a big life lesson of repeating lessons. And you will get challenged every time. You pass a test and then there's okay, we're just going to double check that you really understood that lesson, and you're going to get challenged again, and then you get challenged again. Let's have a look at Rachel. Trapped. That's for everybody. Everybody's trapped in this game, this wicked game. Boundaries. Trapped in the boundaries that whoever this puppet master has created for everybody. Okay, I'm gonna get, this is my song deck. Let's see. Now we might get a love song because there are a lot of love songs in here. When I Was Your Man, Bruno Mars. Let's see if we can get anything else. Stand By Me, Benny King. If the sky that we look upon should tumble and fall, or the mountains should crumble to the sea, I won't cry, no, I won't shed a tear. Just as long as you stand by me. There might be something in that movie, actually. A group of kids, a group of brothers. Just try to have a look. It probably goes too in depth. But it's essentially a band of brothers. That's another movie, Band of Brothers. That's come up for a reason. Let's have a look. Brothers. Being brothers. Again, when I was your man. Too young, too dumb to realise that I should have bought you flowers and held your hand. Should have gave you all my hours when I had a chance. Take you to every party because all you wanted to do was dance. Now my baby's dancing. She's dancing with another man. Just take these as they resonate. That's Bruno Mars. He's been coming out a lot, actually. What else? Because you love me. You were my strength when I was weak. You were my voice when I couldn't speak. You were my eyes when I couldn't see. You were the best. You saw the best. There wasn't me. Lifted me up when I couldn't reach. You gave me faith because you believed. I'm everything I am because you loved me. And die a happy man. And I know that I could never tell you enough that all I need in this life is your crazy love. If I ever get to see the Northern Lights, can you see that's moving? Or if I ever get to see the Eiffel Tower at night, or if all I got is your hand in my hand, baby, I could die a happy man. I'm just going to leave those messages there because they're varying. And there's obviously different tangents that this can go on because you could be, I don't think you're in the Labar energy, but you could be in Leah energy, you could be in Jacob energy, or you could be in Rachel energy. Whatever it is, you're some sort of component in the external chess game of somebody else. Somebody has been the puppet master. Let's get a moon oracle. That's Virgo. New moon in Virgo, nudging us to bring kindness and generosity instead of being cosmic hoarders. I'm not going to get... I'm just going to get one. Nodes of Destiny deck. Currently the North Node is in Aries. Aries is the first house. What you're walking towards. South Node, the 10th house. South Node is what you are releasing. The 10th house is Capricorn. Time to ditch the labels and job titles. 10th house, South Node. Break out of that tough exterior and embrace your inner squidginess. It's all about stepping out of your spiritual bubble and shedding those old skin layers to blossom. Okay? That might be your placement. Breaking out of that tough exterior and embrace your inner squidginess. North Node in the 11th house. Now that is Aquarius. If your North Node chose to throw a party in the 11th house, you might have been a bit of a look at me superstar in the past. Time to hit the reverse button and dazzle by sprinkling your talents around, waving goodbye to that self-absorbed aura. Okay. Take those as they resonate. Do I want to get... If this is a love scenario, I'm going to get some love messages and see what wants to come out. I'm wrapping up another connection. Freedom, but it was upside down. Not free. I couldn't handle the power of our connection. That's when the devil gets in. I don't want to listen to other people anymore. You have breathed new life into me, and I messed up big time. Now, that's fallen on Leah. Something that blossomed after the heartbreak of not getting what you wanted. If this is you, will breathe new life into me. Will breathe new life into you. I messed up big time. You didn't mess up at all. Whoever this person is, there's some hidden blessing that's coming your way through this manipulation. Love begins on the bottom. Okay. I want to know the outcome of this situation. Actually, let's get some Scrabble tiles. It does make a little bit of noise, so if you've got hearing sensitivity, I'm going to shake it in 3, 2, 1. The moon. That painting is the girl with the pearl earring. That's the moon. Pearls are a symbol of the moon. Lots of hidden stuff in here. There's something in that movie. Stephen King actually made that movie. Band of Brothers. There's something in that Band of Brothers movie too. Isn't the Band of Brothers movie about people in the military? And I'm getting that Four Feathers movie as well. I'll write those in the description. Band of Brothers. Oh, I just got Saving Private Ryan. Saving Private Ryan. I don't know why those are coming through. Band of Brothers and Stand By Me. Sorry, if I don't write them down, I forget. Okay, in here. Scrabble tiles could be your first, middle, last initial. No, I'm going to say it again. Could be your first, middle, last initial. Or the initials of anybody that's wrapped up in this chess game. And the thing is, chess game has 2 players. What is that Harry Potter movie where they, I don't like scary movies. They were down in the dungeons of whatever castle of Hogwarts, and he was playing chess, but the chess pieces were moving for him. I have no idea. I'll ask my kids, they'll know. Harry Potter. I'll put that in the description as well. The Prisoner of Alcabam? Oh, I don't know. Okay, let's go. We've got a Z and a 10, a O and a 1, a B and a 3, a D and a 2, an R and a 1, an L, Rachel and Leah, an L and a 1, a Q and a 10, my throat's closing up, an X and an 8. Somebody's trying to stop you from speaking. A P and a 3, a G and a 2, a W and a 4, a J and a 8, a V and a 4, a S and a 1, and finally a C and a 3. I'm just seeing what there is. We've got Jacob, Rachel, Leah. Every time I see those 2 together, a son of a bee, some puppet master energy. Okay, let's get 3 final cards. What is the outcome of this situation? I should have had a look at what's on the bottom. The Knight of Swords. What's the outcome of this situation? The King of Cups. And the King of Cups is Neptune in Pisces. The 5 of Wands, which is envy, jealousy, fighting, competition, and the 8 of Pentacles. Neptune in Pisces, Saturn in Leo, and the 8 of Pentacles is the Sun in Virgo. The 3 of Pentacles. I'm going to put this here. Breaking generational curses, communication underneath the 8 of Wands, as Mercury in Sagittarius. I want to say here, released. That everybody, aside from this person, because they're not spiritually rich and sound, everybody in this situation is released from the competition, the envy, the jealousy that this person has put them in through manipulation. by putting in the work to understand the spiritual context of why all of this had to play out the way it plays out. And once that happens, well, you can put up boundaries with people, rest, work, life balance, putting up boundaries and allowing you to build, which is the Three of Pentacles, Mars in Capricorn, allowing you to build the life that you want outside of the context of this person. Because whilst you're still working through those lessons, as I said, Jacob was 77 and clearly had some sort of inner child wound that this devil energy, manipulative, spiritual gangster, this person has tapped into an unhealed wound which has drawn him into this situation. I just heard it was a mouse trap. It's a mouse trap. And I've got this big image of a barrel. I saw, it was on Instagram, some random things come up in my feed. And it was a barrel and it had a lid on it. But what they'd actually done was they'd put a rod through the center of the lid and put 2 holes in the side of the barrel. So it acted like, you know, those bins where you press down one side and the other side pops up. But they put peanut butter on one side of the lid. And they had this kind of track, piece of wood that ran up to the top. And so these mice ran up to the top and they ran over to where the peanut butter was. Their weight actually pushed that side of the bin down, so they fell into the bin and they were trapped and they couldn't get out. All these people that have been manipulated to come up to something that they want, this peanut butter, and then they all get trapped. So they're all in this big barrel together, but it's part of a lesson. And actually, yeah, look at that. So in the beginning, they're competitors. Rachel's a competitor with her sister. Jacob was a competitor with his brother, which is how all of this heartbreak kind of played out. And how somebody was able to spiritually manipulate each other. But once you actually work out, Neptune in Pisces, Pisces is spirituality, Neptune is going down to the depths of what's actually happening under the surface, how you've been manipulated through jealousy and envy, instead of, because that's Saturn in Leo, instead of fighting each other, Saturn is a lesson. You learn the lessons of what's gone on through that number 7, which is the union of the physical number and the spiritual numbers. By getting that inner truth. Number 7 is inner truth. So then you can, 8 of Pentacles, actually work together in order to build something of value. The message here is that you actually, instead of fighting each other, you actually need to work together in order to get out of whatever big barrel you've been thrown in. Third party trapped, freedom. I'm wrapping up another connection. So that's what I've got for you. What an interesting reading. Completion and perfection is number 7. Genesis, it's a linear journey. Okay, I'm going to pop those songs in the description box. Have a look at the lyrics or the music videos. If there's music videos for those songs, there might be more messages. If any of those songs align with a movie, there might be more messages in the movie. I'll also list the movies that popped into my head during this reading and anything else I've forgotten. If this reading resonated with you, please give it a like. Hit the notification bell and make sure that you've subscribed to my channel. I do post regularly. If you are called to purchase any of my tarot or oracle decks, the links to those can be found in the description box. Thank you to anybody who's done that. I truly appreciate that. It's a great way to support me as a reader and as an illustrator. I wish you all the best on this journey, and I will see you again in another reading.